Hello again, it's March the 31st. I'm recording here this one on the Mars-Saturn conjunction of April the 5th, which seems to be one of the most powerful alignments of this coming month. This one of April the 5th, Mars-Saturn conjunction, and then the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction on the 12th, and then at the end of the month it will be the total solar eclipse on the 30th. So it's a very eventful month, April 2022, and if we do the numerology, it is a 1 month, the 4th month in the year 2022. 2022 adds up to a 6, and the month April is a 4, so that is a 6 and a 4. So 10 is a 1, which means it's a setting a new direction, initiating a new direction. Now the Mars-Saturn conjunction, yes, is in hexagram 49 revolution, as I already said in my other recording. If you haven't listened to that, please go back to it. It kind of prepares the ground for what's coming here. This is a super powerful chart on many levels. First of all, naturally, it is the Mars-Saturn exactly in the same spot of the zodiac, enhanced, empowered by the part of fortune, which is a mirror point between sun, moon and ascendant. So if you would do the midpoint between the moon and the ascendant and then mirror the sun over this axis, that's where you're getting your part of fortune here at 22. Uranus is at the 4th house cusp, at the midnight point of the 0 meridian, and Hygeia is at the top of the chart. We have seen this opposition for a number of times already, strongly accentuated. It has to do with waking up to what's healthy, what's real, what's true, what is in our best interest, health, well-being, and we're going to the deep layers here in Scorpio. Now, Uranus at the 4th house cusp naturally is shaking the ground. Things get really rattled. The 3rd house with the Sun, Chiron here at the cusp, Mercury, Pallas, Aries. This is all about release of information, which will be setting a new tone, bringing in a more strong, I would almost say, persecution of going after those who need to be taken down. It gets real now. It's no more just talking. We're done with the talking. We're getting into action. This is what this chart really shows. Particularly so as Quaoar and Pholus are exactly at the ascendant. You might remember on February the 22nd, that was the day when Quaoar and Pholus had their first conjunction, the first in over 30 conjunctions over the next many years. Actually, these two small planets will be moving in sync till 2061. Quaoar always shows up at critical junctures, first making things more difficult, more hard. It's kind of pushing through a bottleneck, you could say. And Pholus on the other side is the energy of breakthrough, of finally taking that cork out of the bottle and releasing the pressure, so there's lots going on there. Interesting that Quaoar and Pholus both change directions within a day or two of this date, April the 5th. Actually, Pholus turns stationary retrograde just a mere hour or so, or not even, you see, 1:24, a half an hour before the Mars-Saturn conjunction. So a planet changing directions, reaching its yearly maximum, is extremely strong. So this is an extremely strong Pholus we see here. Pholus in personal charts appears when we finally have the courage to break through a pattern, to do something we have been thinking about, procrastinating for a long time. So that's kind of the energy here. The moon here in a critical degree, actually void of course, means it's no more meeting another planet's aspect before entering the next sign, meaning running into the void in a kind of state of you don't know what's coming next. It's a thick fog, and the moon representing the people here with Sedna together. So at first it gets more difficult, it gets more dark, and we have to go through this phase. Interesting that we had a void of course moon also in the equinox chart when the sun entered 0 degrees Aries on March the 20th. And we also had the void of course moon when Venus and Mars had their third and final conjunction on that was March the 6th at 0 degrees Aquarius, bringing that Aquarian energy really much more to the forefront, making it clear that through these next many months the Aquarian energies would become dominant. Aquarius again linked to Uranus, which is about, first of all, the shaking of the ground, bringing in the new energies, and then once we have gone through that more difficult and shaky process, it will be the renewal which comes in, the revelation of technologies and modalities, and we are definitely heading towards free energy. That is a given, and this year, the next few months, as soon as we are through this very difficult stretch of revelation, we will start seeing serious steps in that direction of free energy. This at some point will start going extremely fast, and this is also linked in with the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, which is about dreaming a better future. It is a extremely optimistic energy, and it's interesting that they come kind of back to back, these two big energetic shifts, Mars-Saturn first, and then a week later the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. Now yes, first it gets rough, harsh, difficult to go through this stage of pulling it all out into the open, making things visible which have gone wrong. That's kind of what we are dealing with here with this Mars-Saturn energy, this revolutionary, breaking it open, bend or break kind of. So just a day after, or not even, Venus enters Pisces, already shifting the energy in a much more compassionate way. I guess that's what the big theme of Venus in Pisces is. It is caring, feeling the collective, very empathic, helping one another through this difficult stretch. Venus in Pisces, very beautiful, and Venus will catch up to Jupiter and Neptune towards the end of the month, actually on that day when I guess it's this, let me just go here, I guess it's this chart here. Yes, that is the solar eclipse of the 30th. You see here we have a triple conjunction of Neptune, Venus and Jupiter. It's a spiritual renewal which we will be seeing on this planet once we come to an agreement, once we see how things really are, then people will come together and there will be a great awakening, really. That's what's happening in these next few weeks. We have been talking about that for a long time. It has been steadily building in the background, naturally, because the false narrative had still kind of the most power because they were on the mainstream and such, but this is now shifting. As I said in my other recording, now CNN is even reporting on these dark things like the laptop from hell. So it's all moving in the right direction. This is an extremely dynamic and at first difficult month to navigate through, but it will be worth it. Another reason this Mars-Saturn conjunction is so powerful is it's perfectly squaring the lunar nodal axis at 22. You see again the 22 actually resonating with this year's frequency. Then yes, this was the Venus in Pisces ingress. What's beautiful about this chart here is the moon here in Gemini, right at the 10th house cusp. This, in simple way said, is that people come to power now by standing together, by supporting each other, closing shoulders, and no more allowing to be manipulated and misled. I guess that's really starting to snowball in an unprecedented manner. So Uranus up here in the 9th house. There will be a revolution on many levels. So this is then just another day later, and Quaoar will turn direct, that second of the two, which are here at 7 degrees in Capricorn. That energy of first pushing against a big rock and feeling the pressure, the building, and then the sudden release. So as both these planets reach their yearly maximum, it is a more internal way they will be expressing for the coming months. The moon here, again, in a void of course position, approaching the black moon and chaos. This indicates that it will be really difficult at first. It's also the opposition to the galactic center, and it is the degree where the last full moon was here, squaring this degree. So this is a supercharged degree, And it shows that yes, at first we will feel that pressure building. It's kind of necessary. It is the tool of awakening to build that pressure to that degree where the waking up is happening. And then on the 12th of April, this is when energies really start turning around. It won't be immediate, but it is a step-by-step process now. Jupiter and Neptune have their conjunction. I will talk about that chart next in my next recording. I really want to keep them shorter now because I guess that was one of the reasons you were not really in the mood to watch my whole shows. They were too long. I understand. I keep them shorter now. So thanks again for joining and listening. And if you enjoyed it, give it a like, or share, or subscribe. Okay. Thank you.